And a good afternoon to you, a good Monday to you. This is Lunch with Claibs and Joe, powered by Gray Bar and driven by our friends at Mungenast St. Louis Acura. And our home today, it's Mungenast Alton Toyota. Joe Roderick, Mike Claiborne. Claibs, how's it going?
Hello. All good?
All good, yeah.
This is one of my favorite places to be. And I love Jamie and all the staff here. And the fact that they have such a good selection of cars. I drove that new Camry, the new 25 edition the other day. That's a pretty good car. I mean, they're going to sell a lot of those. But, yeah, it's good to be out. Weather's good. Cardinals won yesterday. I don't have a complaint in the world, man.
I'm gonna ask him if I can get that, borrow that Camry, drive that Camry. I'm going up to Chicago, not next weekend, the weekend after. I'm going to go up see Sox Dodgers, go see Shohei for the first time in the Dodger uniform this year. So they play, I think it's 24th, 25th. I'm going to go up there and watch those games.
You know, the Dodgers are going to come to St. Louis, too. I don't know if you heard about that.
I'm not. So that's during the fall baseball season. So I'm not going to be able to make it to that. Okay. So I wanted to see that Dodgers team. And it's also Chicago in June. It's I
agree.
Yeah.
Man, that's not, listen, we're there this weekend. And I can't wait to get there.
So this weekend's my alumni game weekend. It's Father's Day. It's the 7th annual alumni game.
That's right, Father's Day.
Yeah, it's Sunday. So it's alumni game weekend, which Mungenast Alton Toyota are great sponsors of the game here at Gordon Moore up at Hopkins Field. So I can't go up there for the weekend for those games. So had to find another way to make the trip up there. And I've said this many times, and I know the Sox were down here this year. So I grew up south side of Chicago. I grew up going to White Sox games at Comiskey, and always sat upper deck, always sat up there, and never really cared much for that stadium as I grew up. But now that I'm older, going up there to that stadium and sitting, I usually try to sit in the bleachers out there or out in the outfield out there. Really like that stadium. Really like what they've done up there to, I guess, Guaranteed Rate Stadium is now what it's called. But that's a nice ballpark to take in a game, walking around the big concourse out there in the outfield.
I have not sat in the outfield there. It's not you know what? It's kind of one of those ballparks that's kind of caught in the middle in transition with regard to.
It was the last
design.
one built before Camden Yards was built, and then Camden Yards kind of shifted everything.
So, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and the White Sox.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I know they're in the league.
I think they just got their 15th win of the season.
Yeah, so they're rocking and rolling, you know. You know what? I can't wait for their fire sale to start. Because we know they're going to lose 100 games.
110.
And they have some,
120.
I mean, they may set the record. I'm serious. I mean, they're not a good team, but they have some interesting pieces that I think teams might kick the tires on.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So, yeah, it's but yeah, I'll go up there for that one next week. But yeah, alumni game this week in Claiborne. We're doing a home run derby on Friday for that. No bat restrictions. I have lifted all bat restrictions.
So you can bring a loaded bat?
If you could load a bat, if you could find a way to load an aluminum bat.
Oh, that's easy.
How do you do it?
Well, first of all, you cut off the top.
Yeah.
You got to go to a machine shop.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So I used to work. I used to play in a league, and we had a guy who worked in the machine shop. And for lunch, he would load up our bats. We go play in these tournaments, and you take the top off, and you can load it up with Super Balls or whatever. And then you also want to file it down where it's very thin. The metal is very thin, so the ball bounces, comes off of. There's a lot of ways to load up a bat. Aluminum bat. Yeah,
so that's no bat restrictions on that. We're playing in a smaller field for the home run derby too. I just want
softball or baseball.
This is baseball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's my weekend plans out here for that.
Well, I got news for you. My plans are going to be a little bit more exciting than yours.
I can guarantee you, though, judging by, I mean, if you've seen the group of guys that we have out there for that, drinks consumed, I would guess they're going to be about equal.
No. Not what I got planned. No.
But Cardinals say
then we go to Miami after that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty interesting.
That's a nice little trip for you.
No doubt about
that.
Yeah.
And Skip and John Jay will still be in Miami, you think, by next week too. So
they better be.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's an unfortunate situation with the Marlins. You mentioned the Sox. The Marlins. That whole script has changed so much from when Skip got hired to where they're at now. Starting with Kim Ng and bringing in some people who have a different mission. And it'll be interesting to see if they get into the fire sale business.
Right. And what they have.
Guys down there, I wouldn't mind having.
Well, they already traded Luis Rise, so that's
that should have told you all you needed.
Right.
To know
That fire sale started already. A month into the season. You mentioned not a care in the world. They're happy about everything. Cardinals win yesterday, but they only won 2 out of 4 against the Rockies, that's a disappointment.
Yeah. So now you have to really run the table with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and it's
we'll
not an easy task.
Tomorrow.
Paul Skeens tomorrow night. That's what my parents just had to stop up here beforehand, and my dad was saying, he was going to come out to Hudson's game tomorrow, but he had tickets to the Cardinal game, and I said, no, go to the Cardinal game. Yeah, that's you'll have plenty of other games to watch, but go watch Paul Skeens in person.
I'm looking for Ricky and I are doing the game tomorrow, and I've done a little advanced work. He's not the hardest throwing guy on that team.
Well, I mean, they have Aroldis Chapman on the team.
Chapman.
Did you see Chapman's
at 103 the other night?
Did you see Shohei facing Aroldis Chapman?
Yes.
I feel like that's what I would look like in the batter's box against Aroldis Chapman. I mean, Shohei, it's like Shohei never saw something like that before.
Well, I was watching them when they played, and Skeens was pitching, and Skeens got him the first time, and he hit a 415-foot home run the next time.
Did you see the smile?
Yeah. I mean,
Skeens' face after he gave up that.
You know what? Hey, if you're gonna give it up to a good player, and but I'll tell you something. I'm looking forward to seeing what Nolan Gorman can do against a guy like that. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun matchup. I'm looking forward to it. Pittsburgh is a better team than we give them credit for. If they can just stay together, they're starting to develop some good chemistry with some players. Derek Shelton is a guy who I think is the right guy for that job. So it should be fun. It's going to be some important games, and the Cardinals need to win at least 2.
Right. That's
not sweet.
That's the Skeens Ohtani matchup. That's a good lesson to kids watching baseball and the parents that put pressure on them to have every game be the most important thing that they're going to do and perfection out there every time. You have the best player in the game facing the top prospect in the game, and the top prospect struck him out and then give up a home run, and you see him out there smiling like that. I showed that my Hudson yesterday in his game. He gave up a home run yesterday in their game, and I was kind of laughing about it afterwards. I was like, kid hit that ball real far.
Shit out of it.
And I went and I showed him. I said, look at this. And I showed him the picture that they have, because there's a picture out there of Paul Skeens smiling after and I go, look at that. I go, this is Major League Baseball. He's smiling at the fact that he just gave up. Yeah. I go, it happens every level. It doesn't matter. It's go out there, have fun, enjoy it. It's And by the way, so the Pirates, you mentioned their pieces away. Right now, they got Andrew McCutchen on the team, probably in his last year. Kind of his farewell tour. We saw what happened when the Cardinals lost Albert and Yachty, and we saw what happened in that locker room last year with the young guys and how that, we saw the season that happened. When you lose somebody next year, they have all these young guys. What's going to happen when they lose Andrew McCutchen next year? Because right now you and I haven't been to the Pirates clubhouse to know the answer to this, but I would imagine Andrew McCutchen's the leader in that clubhouse.
It's a good point you make. And knowing him over the years, he's one of those quiet leaders. If you're the Pirates, you probably go the Cardinal route and overpay for a veteran somewhere who's won, and it can come into your clubhouse and kind of show these young and keep that tradition going. And my thing is this. The Pirates should be better, because when you suck as many years as they have, you're going to get good draft choices. But they've started to put them together with Ke'Bryan Hayes, O'Neal
Cruz.
He was a signee. And now you see Skeens. They've got some other young kids that they're trying to
Reynolds.
Develop. They're not that bad.
Who they could have traded. I mean, he thought it looked like he was on his way out, and they somehow somehow were able to make it work and kind of repair any bridges that might have been burned, and now he's a part of something for the future. Yeah,
and they got to continue to make that commitment. So these won't be easy games for the Cardinals.
No. So that's the off day today, and then tomorrow. By the way, you talking a locker room of clubhouse leaders. Did Larry Walker stop by your booth over the weekend?
Didn't see Larry.
No,
didn't see him.
I know he was at the ballpark.
He was.
He was in the booth. I thought for the Rockies. I thought it was a bobblehead day over the weekend.
Oh, that's right. No, we didn't see him, and I'm sorry we didn't see him. We were trying to get him. As a matter of fact, you know that's a good point because he threw out the first pitch.
Yeah.
We were trying to get him up in the booth, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to listen to the games, but off today. You play 3 games against the Pirates tomorrow before heading up to Chicago for the first time this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday up at
Thursday night, Friday.
Saturday, Thursday. Sunday. It's Thursday, Friday.
We're getting there Thursday night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Get in there Thursday night. I think around 7:00.
You got the dinner reservations all set up and everything too?
We locked it low.
All right. Where's your favorite place to eat in Chicago?
Man, that's a good question because I like Giordano's Pizza. Like going. There's one not far from where we hotel at. I like going there. Gibson's, Ron's of Japan, Japanese restaurant. There's a lot of places, man, that I like going to.
Have you had a burger from Au Cheval?
No.
You've never been there?
No.
Best burger.
Well, wait a minute. When you say best burger, are we talking about one that's like 2 inches thick, or are we talking about a flat grill burger?
Flat grill burger.
Well, I'm in there. See, I don't like those big ones. It's grease
No.
running down your arm, all that stuff.
No, they got
What's the name of it?
Au Cheval.
Where is it at?
It is it's more on the west side near United Center area.
I ain't going that far for a hamburger. If it's not downtown, I'm probably not going.
I don't think it's that the whole city isn't that big. I think you could jump in an Uber and get over there. You go over there. What the play is, you go there, you put your name in, you go across the street to the bar and have a few drinks over there, and then they buzz you and you go back.
So we have day games.
Yeah.
So
see, if you got Friday at 1:00, so you finish that up. Yeah. Is it Saturday and Sunday primetime games?
No, they're day games.
Saturday's a day game too?
Sunday is a noon start because I think we're on Peacock or something.
No, is it Roku TV? Yeah, the Peacock deal ended.
They're out, yes.
Yeah. So now it's Roku.
I can't keep track of all these streaming services is doing baseball.
You just show up when they tell you to show up.
There you go.
This is Lunch with Claibs and Joe. We are out here at Mungenast Alton Toyota and Claibs. So we're also sponsored by the Missouri Athletic Club.
Missouri Athletic Club, what a fun place. And this is a time where they have so many activities going on when you think about your family and friends, and whether it's a reception. They just have so many things available to you, including golf, at multiple courses in the area, fitness centers in both places. It's just a great gathering place for the kids, for business, whatever, and you'd be amazed at the cost and what it would mean. So if you're thinking about doing something different, something that can include your family or maybe your business, this might be a good stop for you. Just check them out online, and then you'll see all the amenities that they offer. 2 locations, one in downtown St. Louis and one in West County, and perhaps another one on the drawing board in St. Louis as well, location that you might want to check out. But just check them out, Missouri Athletic Club. Go online and check them out, and I think you'll understand why I think so much of them.
We have to. We're gonna have to get on Twitter here, Claibs. Check out and see if we have any Dan Hurley news. And when we come back, we will let you know what's going on in the NBA right here on Lunch with Claibs and Joe. We're out live at Mungenast Alton Toyota here on Claibs Online.
Let me get this straight. Gray Bar is a distributor?
Yep. For more than 150 years, we supported electrical and datacom projects all over the country.
So you can get me products wherever and whenever I need them?
Yep. Thanks to our expansive national logistics network.
For any industry?
Yep. From construction sites and industrial plants to schools, hospitals, and just about everything in between.
So you could say Gray Bar is much more than a distributor?
Yep. You could say that.
They really do it all.
Yep. When you need a hand powering, connecting, or maintaining your operations, join the thousands of professionals who rely on Gray Bar to help keep them up and running. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Back here, Mungenast Alton Toyota is our home for lunch with Claibs and Joe on this Monday. And Claibs, right in the middle of the NBA Finals, Celtics up 2-0. We can talk about those games in a little bit, but the all eyes in the NBA right now are on Los Angeles and Connecticut as we wait this afternoon to find out if Dan Hurley is going to accept the Lakers job or stay at UConn and go for a three-peat there in college basketball.
It's an interesting scenario. I don't think sticking around for a three-peat is really that big of a deal. I mean, it's not like John Wooden or Mike Krzyzewski or anybody like that. But point being, I think when you look at a guy today and you think about Hurley, I'll tell you another guy that nobody's talking about that I know they kicked the tires on is Jay Wright. These coaches in college don't want to deal with the shenanigans of the NIL and the transfer portal and all that. But you got to make sure that you have the right vibe with players in the NBA because that's a different animal completely. Mm-hmm. But I think the way Hurley coaches and the way he deals with people, he would probably be a good fit compared to some other guys that wouldn't get along with people. And I go back to a guy like John Beilein, who was a very good college basketball coach. He had nothing in common with the NBA player. Right. And if you have a couple of players that are on board with it and you coach them up, then the rest will soon follow. I'm a little surprised, though, the Lakers and the NBA would allow this to take place during the finals.
Right. That is surprising.
This is something you could have done after the finals where the name of the league is still out there, mm-hmm. but to conflict with what you have in your finals.
Or during the 8 days where there were no games being played.
Yeah,
and tell them then, say, hey, figure this out.
Right,
you got 8 days, figure it out.
So I'm a little surprised that that's going on. But then again, when you're about to make somewhere between $75 and $80 billion, mm-hmm. put that on the back burner.
They with the move itself, I mean, Dan Hurley trying to make this, having to make this decision. LeBron James is going to factor into it, but he's only going to factor into it for 1 or 2 years. If exactly. That, so but the thing is, how much of a headache is it going to be when you also have to factor in, okay, we have to bring his son on board. If LeBron's staying in LA, more than likely we have to draft his son.
But here's the thing to that. Where is he going? Where's LeBron going? I mean, they're kind of stuck with each other. I think for me, and if the kid can play, fine. If he can't, then it is what it is. But here's the thing that I think: if I'm Hurley, what are you going? What are we doing when LeBron is gone?
And I'd be more concerned 3 to 5 years for that.
I'd be concerned next year,
right?
I mean, because as you mentioned, he may play a year or two more, but even at that stage, you still have to think about your future. And I think that might be one of the stall points here on why Hurley, as they recruit him, they have to have a game plan and say, hey, look, we want you to be part of who's going to be next as far as that face of the organization. And maybe that's the sticking point on who is Hurley looking at that says this guy can play in my offense and he can do, because it's going to have to be a real legitimate star. And Anthony Davis is not going to be the face of this team.
Yeah. And right now you have more job security in college basketball than anybody. You just won back-to-back titles.
Yeah.
Well, that job security there, he's good for 10 years. You would think. And with the Lakers, the way that NBA teams go through coaches, that's a 3-year guarantee at most when you sign on.
I think when you look at the money and the guarantees that come with it, it's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other.
Mm-hmm.
Can UConn pay him as much as the Lakers? No. There'd be too much pushback from too many other people. I think the Lakers situation is one that works. And you said maybe 3 years. I think he'll probably get a little longer because they're going to have to make a legitimate commitment to him beyond LeBron.
Another news as we sit here, but one of the things too. So Shams was reporting JJ Redick. Woj was reporting Dan Hurley. So you got both of the top 2 NBA insiders. Very different.
I don't think JJ Redick fits.
How close do you think that was to happening, though?
Oh, I'm sure they kicked the tires on him. But, the more people you talk to, the more people don't think J.J. Redick, because of some of the things he's done from a broadcasting standpoint, wouldn't go over well. You know, players remember things that are said about other people, and I'm not sure if he would mesh. And it doesn't have anything to do with LeBron. It's just I don't think J.J. Redick is the answer.
The Lakers
especially
coach
with no coaching experience.
The most recent Lakers coach of the last 2 years, Darvin Ham, he just found himself a job. He's going to be he's going to be on Doc Rivers' staff up in Milwaukee.
You know what? That's the right move. He knows that organization. That organization knows him. And if Doc moves on, Darvin Ham will be a better coach for that organization. So it's a good move on his part.
2 games into the series, Celtics up 2-0.
Don't worry about it. And here's why. There's a saying in the postseason, the series doesn't start until you win the other guy's building. So they'll go back to Dallas. I think the key, obviously, is if Doncic is healthy enough to play. If you don't have him, you don't have a series. But there's a lot of basketball still to be played.
Yeah, Porzingis has had he's started off pretty good.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
In the series.
Very
but you got that going on, and then in the NHL, Florida Panthers up 1-0 on Edmonton. Game 2 of that series is tonight.
I picked the Panthers to win the whole thing. They're deeper, they're well coached, and they have a better goalie. That's all you need.
Real good chance 3 games into these both these finals. Matthew Tkachuk and Jason Tatum could both be champions afterwards.
Well, I want Jason to get his championship so I can go back to hating the Celtics. Once he gets his ring, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to hating.
Yeah, you're gonna let him know that. You know, the family know that. Yeah, okay.
Everybody knows.
Yeah. Listen,
I've known Jason since he was a child. Know his family, and everybody knows how I feel about the Celtics. So there's no.
But you're rooting for him
I'm
next
rooting
week.
for him to win
All right.
this championship.
Okay.
And after that, it's back.
He's not allowed to get any more after this. He gets 1 ring, and that's it.
Celtics get no love from me.
All right.
I'm trying to get him traded somewhere.
WNBA. Caitlin Clark was the news yesterday. Not so much WNBA, but women's basketball Olympics start here in about 5 weeks from now. Was not included in the on the women's roster for Team USA. For the women's side of things, that became controversial.
Yeah, but you know why? You know why she wasn't on the team?
She's not one of the top 12 players in the WNBA right now.
You got that right. Yeah,
but. I will tell you this from a viewing aspect. If Caitlin Clark was on that, I guarantee I would have tuned into more of the women's games.
I mean, you know what? And I appreciate what she's meant to the game in her brief period being in the WNBA and the attention she's drawing.
Was it 20,000 the other day at a Washington Mystics Indiana Fever game?
Yeah, they had to move from one facility to another.
The teams have a combined 3 wins on the season.
I get it, and I appreciate what she's doing for the game. But that doesn't mean she can just have priority over people who are better players.
It'd be one person that she would have replaced. I don't know who the 12th person on that roster is, but it would have been one of those 12 that she would have replaced. At some point, I mean, NBC execs stepping in saying, "Hey, we'd really like this." Or,
we had this issue with the Dream Team when they put Christian Laettner on. And that created a big stink. We've seen other players who probably weren't worthy of being on the team. They put on the team. So there's precedent that's been set.
Who did Christian Laettner replace, though? Who did he take a spot from?
I have to think about that. I mean, he didn't. I mean, they put him on the team,
right?
And it was more of a transitional situation where they wanted to have a young person have that experience. I don't know. If I look back and think about players who were Olympic worthy, I'd have to think about
Shaq
that.
didn't. Yeah, Shaq wasn't.
Shaq didn't. No, that's who it was. I think it was Shaq.
Okay.
And that's why Shaq never dealt with if you notice, all the things he's done in his career, he was never part of the Olympic situation because of that.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I mean, and you know what? The world will be okay. From a TV rating standpoint, I get it. If you're Nike, I get it. But this is about the best team you want to put on. And, some people would say, well, they could put her on the team and they're still going to destroy everybody.
Right. They're going to win every game by 40.
But I think that it's a tricky situation. I don't think there's any question that there was a lot of hand-wringing that obviously took place to come to that decision. But I can, and she took it right. She said, it's got to work harder. And she'll have her chance.
Right. She's still young. Do you think do you think the other women in the league hate her right now?
I think he's 50-50 on that. You have some people who are disappointed because she's getting that sort of exposure and maybe in their opinion hasn't proven herself yet. And then you have other people like, hey, glad you're here. And now we can get more exposure for our league and the other good players in this league. So, you're going to have some haters no matter what.
Because, Angel Reese came out and said how it's her and Caitlin. People are coming out to see both of them. I haven't seen any stories come out about Chicago Sky selling 20,000 tickets to a game.
But see, here's what and I had this conversation the other day with Frank Cusimano. It goes down so many different swim lanes as far as size, race, places that they play. And, it's not one thing that's created this stir. And I made this point last week. If the NBA wasn't off and the Stanley Cup Finals wasn't off and we just had baseball, do you really think we'd had this kind of discussion about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA? They got a lot of free exposure last week.
I do, just because even before the season started, I remember just being at the gym, not watching it, but having it on the TVs. I remember seeing whatever ESPN's morning show is now.
I don't watch that shit.
But I remember I wasn't listening to it. It was on the TV, but I know every time I'd look up, there'd be a topic on there about Caitlin Clark. And this is during the playoffs, but this is before the season started. They were taking a segment of time.
And I get it.
And talking about that, a segment of time that'll probably be devoted to the Cowboys here in a month. They were devoting to Caitlin Clark right now.
So I think we have to real talk. When you think about a white female in a predominantly black industry of women's basketball, it's unique. It's kind of like what Tiger Woods was. Tiger Woods, and here's the thing: they both could play.
Yeah,
and I think that's the underlying issue here, that we have a person who's in a realm, in a situation that's not, that we're accustomed to seeing. And so she's got good flavor. She's got good flavor, and it's good for the game.
Similar to Venus and Serena when they started in tennis, similar to Larry Bird the 80s.
Exactly. When you cross the street and participate in a sport or an activity where there aren't a lot of people who look like you and you excel, you're going to create two things. You're obviously going to create attention, and you're going to have some people who are going to be hating on you for all the wrong reasons. Right. Let's go back to Jackie Robinson. When he was the first, and how there were people on both sides of that fence about how they felt about him. And I'm not trying to compare Caitlin to Jackie Robinson with regard to the time and the pressure, but just the whole fact that when you get involved in the sport, where, as I said, they don't look like you, then people are going to raise an eyebrow.
Yeah. This is Lunch with Claibs and Joe. We are out here at Mungenast Alton Toyota. You can find them online at altontoyota.com, and you can search for all of the cars that they have out there on the lot. And Claibs, as we look in front of us, you could see all of the new Highlanders that they have out there. You and I have both driven those new Highlanders that they have out here at Mungenast Alton Toyota. The 2025s making their way in as well, which we've talked about. We talked about the Camry, the 2025 Camry. Lots of other models of the 2025s are making their way
here. So come on out and check one out. They have a good variety to choose from, and that's one of the neat things about being here. They always have a variety, and they have a great sales team. But some people might want to go online and check it out.
Yeah,
whatever. But just check them out, and I think once you do, you realize you don't need to go anywhere else.
Not only that, you could see what the cars they have out here. You could also sort it by price. You could see what cars they have that are under $10,000. If you have a kid that's heading off to college next year and you're trying to find them
a good affordable under $10,000.
Yeah, they have them out there. Go to Alton Toyota and find it. Find out which ones they have.
But that's a good idea.
Yeah, you could sort it by that, and they'll show you what they have out here on the lot. And even you go over to stlouisacura.com too and search for it, and they will they'll take the cars to one lot or the other.
See you buy one for Hudson. It's just around the corner.
It is, and I've let him. More and more kids these days are like turning 16. They're not wanting to get their driver's license. They're like, I don't
get that, man.
And I have already told him he turns 11 in a month. And I have already let him know, hey, just telling you, when you're 16 and you can get your license, you're either getting your license or you're getting a job in an Uber account. Those are
I agree.
those are your two options right there,
call.
because once you can get a license, I'm done chauffeuring you around wherever you need to be.
I agree.
So we will be I can guarantee you when he's about 15 and a half, we will be making our way out to Mungenast Burkhardt Alton Toyota and getting him finding out which car is going to be his when that's said and done. Hey, let's take our final break and return here at Mungenast Burkhardt Alton Toyota. It's lunch with Claibs Joe here on Claibs Online.
Are you ready for a challenging and rewarding career? There are quality jobs in the construction industry.
I got out of college and my career choices were very limited, and this provided me with a plan for the present and the future at the same time.
I actually have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I was making less than I make as a first-year apprentice painter.
I didn't go to college. I have no college debt. I make more money than the majority of people I know that went to college.
Take your first step towards a rewarding career. Visit stlouispdf.org.
It's lunch with Claibs and Joe here on Claibs Online. Out here at Mungenast Burkhardt Alton Toyota is our home this Monday. I'll be on the road the next 2 weeks. Claibs might have to do a recorded version of the show.
On the road too,
Doing a road trip next. I got a buddy that's got a job at Children's. He's moving from USC over to Children's, and flying me out to San Diego to drive his wife's car back. Help drive his wife's car back. So we are going from San Diego to St. Louis. A little road trip next week.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
How many stops you gonna make?
I told him that I need to. So Hudson has the game Tuesday at 8 p.m. So I land in San Diego at 8 a.m. on Sunday. I told him I want to be back here by Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So looking at the map and figuring out which cities, because you're talking going through Nevada, Utah, Colorado, not a whole lot of exits there with a lot of hotel rooms.
This is true.
So trying to figure out how to time that out and do that.
You guys are gonna go straight through?
I mean, we're gonna stop twice at least, but yeah.
I mean, and the reason why I asked, because I know like last year, Chip and I drove straight through. We didn't stay.
Well, we're each driving a car, so we are each driving.
All
Yeah,
right,
we're each driving in two different cars. So no, we're stopping.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, and the issue right now is figuring out if we want to stop in Utah that first night, because there's not a whole lot to do in Utah.
Yeah, you're right. No NBA going on. I don't know what the hell you go out there. They're trying to figure out a name for their hockey team.
I saw that. So the finalists for that, what are they? It's they've got it down to like 5 names, right? It is the Blizzard, the Mammoth, the Outlaws, the Venom, or the Yeti.
None of those are intriguing.
Or the Utah Hockey Club. They would just throw that one out.
That's good luck on that. I'd rather, Utah Hockey Club.
I'm going to throw out Venom and Outlaws. I'm saying it's between Blizzard, Mammoth, or Yeti. Those are the 3 that Utah I think it has.
Hockey Club works for me.
Those, did you like it when Washington did that? When the Commanders did that for 2 years, where they were the Washington Football Club? Was that it? Yeah.
I mean, I really.
Or no, it was Washington Football Team. It wasn't even club. It was
right.
Washington Football Team that they went by.
We wish them the best on the name selection.
Claibs, I know you had a baseball game yesterday afternoon, but last night, did you make your way to the Dome?
No.
To watch the Battlehawks lose in the XFL Conference Championship?
How many people do you think will show up next weekend?
Okay. So it's the championship for this league. I don't think you're going to get people traveling from San Antonio or I don't know who they're playing. Birmingham? Could we just guess and say Birmingham?
League, not mine.
I don't know why it's my league.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why it's my league. But you have. So what's your play here? If you are the UFL or if you're the city of St. Louis, do you just kind of give away tickets at this point for $5 and you just say, hey, come watch a football game, and then you just try to get them, sell a bunch of RC Cola?
Yeah. I mean,
They still sell the RC Cola at the Dome.
I don't drink soft drinks.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know what they sell there. I haven't been in the Dome in 20 years. So
20 years?
Since they won. I mean, when
You
the
didn't go
Rams
to
leave?
you didn't go to any Rams haven't been gone for 20 years.
Seems that way.
Rams have been gone for like 8 years.
Okay. I haven't been there since they last played their last.
Okay.
No desire.
Well, I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot there unless you were going to like a Beyonce or Garth Brooks concert. So
Again, no desire. But
but you try to get 30,000 in there just to have the visual of the whole lower bowl filled, and you could say to the UFL,
and you know what? You might even want to go one step further and put everybody on one side of the field. So from the
hard
TV
cam,
standpoint.
the hard cam side,
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see who would be willing to go down there and be part of that. And I hope it works out.
The attendance this weekend in St. Louis for the Cardinal games. Rockies were in town. That's a tough draw for a 500 team to have the Rockies coming to town on a weekend.
Yeah, I don't know what people were expecting. I know somebody wrote a story about the lowest attendance in decades. I don't know where they got that from, but it's the Rockies. They never have drawn well.
Right.
You know, and there's certain teams that just don't do well, plain and simple. And there's nothing you can really do about it, no matter how good you play.
Right.
So it is what it is. We had a good crowd. I think we had over 40,000 yesterday.
Did the stands look good though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was 40,000. And you think about 40,000 with a Battle Hawk game that's going to take place the same day. I thought it was a good crowd. You know what? And I'll tell you, we were talking about this last night. That might have been one of the most complete games we've seen all year. With how the team played, they were clean defensively. Pitching was really good. You know, I tipped my cap to Palante and what he was able to do. The bullpen, he didn't have to use too many people.
Yeah. You had a big enough lead to where you didn't have to go to Helsley again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said to Helsley last night, I said, well, you got a couple of days off. We expect you for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
You know, and let's face it, we got to start winning some games. We got to take advantage of this homestand, and really they need to win out before they go on the road, because, you know, we don't know what's waiting for us in Chicago. We don't know what that team looks like anymore.
And then after that, you know, Marlins and Giants are both having rough years for that. But I would say next homestand, Giants, Braves, Reds, you'll get a lot better attendance.
Yeah,
at those,
and they're good teams too. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and so Cardinal schedule, it is favorable from now until about the All-Star break.
6 games, 6 teams with teams over 500 record between now and the All-Star break.
Yeah,
so you got to do some damage here.
It'll be we'll see how that goes tonight or tomorrow night. Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pirates. In the first of 3 in that series. That's going to do it for us today out here at Mungenast Alton Toyota here in Alton, Illinois. 850 Homer Adams Parkway is where you can drive out here and come see what they have on the lot, or know before you go and check them out at altontoyota.com. Anything big planned for any of the pre-games this week with the Pirates in town?
Well, we're in the Champions Club on Wednesday night. What are you doing Wednesday?
I got no plans Wednesday.
I got tickets for you.
Awesome.
All right. We have that going. John Rooney will be back on Wednesday. And then we have a day game on Thursday, and then off to Chicago. I did tell you we're going to be there.
You told me that Thursday night. Yeah, you mentioned that, and you haven't given me the complete plans yet, but
we'll be there early.
It's Chicago in the summertime. There's nothing. It really isn't. Better. I think I have about 3 trips already planned up there this summer, and I cannot wait for every one of them.
Wow. Yeah. Dan Hurley turned down the deal.
Glad we stayed on long
6
enough
years,
to get that.
$70 million.
So do you transition and go to J.J. Reddick then?
No, I go to Jay Wright.
He's been out of the game for a few years?
What, a couple
3
years?
Okay.
Wright. Give me Jay Wright.
All right. Well, more on that as the week goes on.
6 years, $70 million he turned down. Boy, I don't know, but there had to be something about that he didn't like.
I mean, everything we talked about early in the show.
Yeah.
I think not knowing what the Lakers will look like when LeBron leaves is a big part of that. Do you want to sign that deal and be part of a big rebuild?
No, but see, here's the thing. I think that's something that would have to be addressed what is our game plan?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why 6 years is long enough where you can fix, you can get healthy quick in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, man, that's going to be a story that we'll be talking about for the next few days.
Right.
And who's next? I'm not sure about JJ Redick. I'd like to have a guy who has a little bit more ring experience. I got to ask Jay Wright. I got to ask him, would he be interested? And he may say no too.
We'll be able to talk about that more next week here on Lunch with Claibs and Joe. Check out Daily Cards Live coming up later today as well. Rammer and I will recap the weekend games over at Busch between the Rockies and get you ready for Pirates and Cardinals tomorrow. Thank you to the folks out here at Mungenast Alton Toyota for having us out. Once again, AltonToyota.com is where you can go check out all of the new 2025s. Check out all the cars they have under 10 grand at AltonToyota.com. He is Mike Claiborne. I'm Joe Roderick. We will talk to you next time right here on Lunch with Claibs and Joe.
Mungenast St. Louis Acura is making room for the 2025 MDX, so that means great deals for you on the 2024 MDX. We have over 100 2024 MDX models in stock, and you get financing as low as 3.9% for up to 60 months. Or you can lease a new MDX for just $559 per month for 36 months. Or get the MDX technology model for just $589 per month for 36 months. Mungenast St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.